A successful front office manager requires a perfect mixture of skillful hospitality and tight organizational skills, never settling for less than an A+. I'm going to show you what you have to do to be a successful front office manager. Welcome to another edition of Hospitality Property School. I am your instructor, Jerry McPherson. In any hospitality property, first impressions are everything. The way your front desk staff greets and attends to the guests can make or break the image of your property. And just to make things clear, if you operate a small B&B or inn and you're a one-person operation, you are the front office manager. Like the best leaders, a front office manager with the right knowledge, training, and attitude leads by example and from the front. If your personality is a perfect mixture of skillful hospitality and tight organizational skills, then working as a front office manager at a hospitality property might be an invigorating and fulfilling career path. Success as a hospitality property front office manager, as with many other careers, requires constant improvement and self-evaluation. A successful front office manager at any property should never settle for less than an A+. Now, the duties of a hospitality property front office manager can be wide and ranging. Not only are managers in charge of seeing the new employees get trained properly, they are also in charge of everything from assigning work schedules to handling finances. No 2 days of working as a front office manager are exactly the same. Now, here are 15 steps that can help make a successful front desk manager. 1. Improve listening skills, and then coach others to do the same. We all need not only to hear, but to listen with better intensity. The front desk is the communication center of every hospitality property. It is the financial center for reservations and much of the cash activity at many properties. A front office manager must be able to oversee both guests and staff interactions to ensure proper guest service and procedures, guide those staff that need it, coach appropriately, and increase the two-way communication cycle. 2. Work towards customer delight. In any hospitality property, customer service is supreme. The only method that will ensure your guests are satisfied with the service provided by the front desk is if you value your guests. Each guest has to be treated professionally and courteously. Be sure you have the time to hear the tiniest problem and resolve it. When you make commitments to customers, meet them, and train your employees to check in guests quickly and also to accelerate the checkout as fast as possible. When you are more focused on the requirements of your guests and are ready to accept both the positive and negative feedback, you will be able to better anticipate their needs and to fulfill them. 3. Make sure you and your staff know everything about the property and services. The most obvious requirement for any successful front office manager is to know all the details about the hospitality property's products and services. Personally inspecting every type of accommodations in your property. Learn the differences and the potential benefits of each type and how they can be of value to different customers. This tour should be monthly or even weekly to keep you aware of changes in the property and can also help management be better aware of potential problems. Maintain your awareness of the property on the whole. This includes parking areas, public areas, access points to the property, and the all-important curb appeal. If you work with an adjacent restaurant or another external service that is part of your offerings, regularly assess their quality and see how it affects your guest satisfaction. An effective front office manager takes pride in their property and often offers to assist senior management in room inspections or in the sales effort as appropriate. 4. Make sure you know everything about the services and products of those properties that you are competing with. As in the preceding strategy, effective front office managers know who their competition is and everything about them. They learn their strengths and their weaknesses and plan accordingly as they try to increase market share at the expense of their competitors. It is not the sole responsibility of the sales team or general manager to be part of the upselling effort. Successful front office managers embrace the mantra, everyone sells. 5. Focus on details. In the hospitality property industry, small things can have a large impact. If you want to be the best front office manager your guests have ever seen, pay close attention to the details. Constantly assess your time management. The 80-20 rule of priorities and value remains true much of the time. 80% of our profits come from 20% of the client base. The same holds true for problem areas or staff that need attention. The question needs to be not are we doing things right, but are we doing the right things correctly? If you have to juggle many things simultaneously and are not organized, you won't be able to prioritize your work. If you're able to organize yourself at work, you'll be able to focus on each facet of your responsibility effectively, and this will assist you to identify areas of improvement. Then you can develop strategies to improve service, thereby becoming a better front office manager. 6. Show off your extroverted side. People with extroverted personalities often flourish in the hospitality front office manager positions. These jobs require constant interaction not only with the staff, but also with guests. An upbeat and pleasant attitude is a must for people in this position. If you're a front office manager, you want to make your guests feel at ease and comfortable when in your presence. You want them to make them feel like you're there for them, that you can answer their questions and take care of any concerns they might have. Introverts, who prefer working alone, are often better suited for other fields. 7. Circulate with employees and guests. An exceptional front office manager makes time to speak with his staff and also guests. Anytime you talk with your personnel, you will find out the issues they're facing in providing good service to guests and may come up with solutions to assist them. You should also mix and talk to your guests to help them feel comfortable in your presence, to speak about their concerns, and to ask questions. If you have direct contact with your employees and guests, you'll be able to assess situations, handle questions and concerns that staff and guests might have. The legendary managers are those who know their clients and interact with them regularly. Effective front office managers professionally interact with guests as often as possible. 8. Hold regular one-on-one sessions with all direct employees in the department, including the night auditor. While the night shift is usually quieter, it still represents 30% of the day and needs to be included in discussions and communication. These sessions should not be formal reviews, but guideposts to reinforce positive actions or to correct a potentially dangerous course of action. When it becomes apparent that these are honest dialogues, the sessions will actually be anticipated as an opportunity to clear the air. 9. Training must be maintained and increased. There is no excuse today for poorly or untrained front desk staff. When running high occupancy, many managers claim they are too busy to train. When the occupancy is flat or declining, cutting ongoing training is to save money. But it'll really cost you more, and it'll drive good staff to consider leaving and loyal customers to the competition, because it will appear you do not care. 10. When hiring people, pay attention to the human resource role. Recruit and select people wisely. Encourage your general manager to pay competitively or better and lead in incentives. As a front office manager, recognize your team regularly with thank yous and expressions of appreciation. Retain champions by whatever it takes to keep them. Are these making sense? Let me know by leaving a comment. 11. Be a team player. Even as a front office manager, you should be capable of being a team player and be able to work with your subordinates and other department heads without letting your ego get in the way. This will help create a team that can take ownership and excel in its work. If your team works successfully, it reflects on your management abilities and skills. 12. Be proactive. Don't wait for top management to tell you the way to enhance your department. You're the front office manager, and you ought to have the ability and the insight to initiate improvement to get the desired results. Remember, Prosperity of the property depends on you as well as your staff's ability to handle guests and address their concerns. If you're able to make your guests happy without having to be told, you have turned into an exceptional front office manager. 13. Plan, coordinate, and implement revenue management strategies regularly. This is another example of blended learning. Some hospitality properties are fortunate to have a full-time revenue manager working on their property, while other companies sometimes have someone at the owner's or management company office regularly watching inventories and demand patterns. The blended learning must come from the people who recognize the trends and the cycles and anticipate the necessary steps. 14. Review your market analysis monthly. It should not just be the sales team or general manager that has an interest in trends or shifts in market. Understanding your guests' needs is essential, and sharing observations on changing guest preferences, needs, or demands should be a critical part of the front office monthly management practices. And 15. Be open to improvement. When things are running smoothly, you'll get a pat in the back. But if things are not running smoothly, you should be able to stand up and take responsibility. You need to be able to sit back, analyze the problem, and come up with an answer to ensure it doesn't happen again. Do not blame your employees or others if things go wrong. Instead, use the problems to enhance yourself and your department. When you are the front office manager, you are accountable for your guests' satisfaction and well-being. If your guests are content with your service, they'll return, as well as get the word out about your property to their friends and family. So creating a good impression and ensuring your guests leave your property with positive thoughts needs to be your ultimate goal. If you achieve this goal, you have become an outstanding front office manager. In conclusion, when you're the front office manager of a hospitality property, a lot of responsibility is in your hands. If things go right, you can probably pat yourself on the back. If things go wrong, however, there's a chance you might have been able to prevent it. The answer to being a good property front office manager is having the honesty and confidence to be able to admit to yourself that you could have approached something in a little more effective manner. If you're capable of analyzing your actions and figuring out how you could proceed differently, then you open yourself up to improvement in the future. If you stubbornly stick to the same routine over and over, you block out improvement, which negatively affects your output as a manager, along with the rest of the property. If someone has helpful advice on how to be a more effective and productive manager, you should always be open to hearing it. Now, if you like this video, let me know in the comment section below your thoughts and if you're going to implement any of these procedures. You can support this free podcast by leaving us a review and giving us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or wherever you happen to be listening to it. Every review helps more people find the podcast at no cost to you. If you know someone who might benefit from this video, please feel free to share it and make sure to hit that like button. I appreciate the feedback. Be sure to subscribe and hit the little bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Thank you so much for your attention, and let's continue to work together to put heads in your beds. Until next time, have a fun day. We will see you next time, right here in Hospitality Property School.